Hi and welcome to Sarah Can's Food. Today we're going to make some jelly. The kids and I are about to go to Glass Act, a local glass recycling center, to do a little bit of volunteering. And then, so I'm going to take some juice out of the freezer so it'll thaw and it'll be ready to make some jelly when we get back. So I did juice some strawberries. We don't like pulp in our strawberry jelly, so we just decided to juice it this year. It's pretty amazing. All right, welcome to Sarah Can's Foods. Today we're going to make some strawberry jelly. To do that today, we're going to, let's start off with the things that we're going to be using. First, our water bath canner. We're going to fill the water to about, there are some rings within it. We're going to go a little over the bottom ring. Within that canner, there is a rack where you can lift the jars, and it also keeps the jars from sitting directly on the bottom. We're going to use this stock pot to make our jelly mixture. Of course, we have our jars that we're going to wash and then sterilize. And today we're going to sterilize the jars rather than what we did the other day with the cranberry sauce, because the processing time is less than 15 minutes. So we're going to sterilize the jars and boil the lids. A couple other things that we'll need are funnel, this metal grabber for the lids out of the hot water. This, I don't know what this thing is called, but it's a plastic stick thing with the tongs or the little steps on the end, and that's how you can help gauge your headspace. And some jar tongs. Last thing I don't have up here but we will be using is a small saucepan just to warm up the lids, a ladle, and probably just a slotted spoon. So you can find those, it's got that plastic stick thing is called a bubble remover / headspace tool. So I have this kit from Fall. I got it, I don't know, 15 years ago, the first time I ever made peach jam in my college apartment, and it went all over the place. It did not set up, but it was really great over some cream cheese with some crackers. We felt so accomplished. Anyway, you can get this at the store in the spring during canning season when everybody gets really excited for it. It's just a great little set because it's everything you need. Okay, ingredients for strawberry jelly. Jelly, not jam. So I did juice strawberries last spring. Every year the 4-H has a fundraiser and it's a flat of strawberries, so I buy a bunch. In our family, we don't like the seeds and pulp. No one really likes jam in my family. So I don't make it. So we juiced the strawberries. I made a bunch of strawberry jelly in the spring, so now just with the leftover juice, I'm gonna finally make the rest of it. I have 5 cups of juice, so I have 7 cups of sugar, and then we'll have some lemon juice. You wanna use store-bought for lemon juice so that the acidity is pretty level. And then I'll also be using Sure Gel Original. So those are the ingredients we're going to be using today, and let's get started. Okay, we're going to switch gears and move over to the stove so we can start dissolving the pectin in the strawberry juice in that pot. Now, because of the amount that I am making today, we're going to use 1.5 packages of the pectin to the 5 cups of strawberry juice. Typically it's like 3 3/4, 3.5 cups of juice, but I have 5, so that's what we're gonna do. Okay, so I'm gonna move you over and then I'll come back. Okay, so we've got the jars heating up and sterilizing. We have all of our ingredients measured out, so we have our strawberry juice, our pectin, and our loads of sugar, but we're going to be making a few jelly jars, so don't worry about it. And then some lemon juice. So first we're going to bring the juice, we're going to get the juice hot, and then we're going to add in that pectin, and then we'll add in the sugar. So this is still a little frozen. Because I only took it out of the freezer this morning. Oh, that was intense. Man, if you could smell this jar, it smells like a fresh strawberry. So we're just gonna bring that up to heat. Alright, and while that's coming up to temperature, we're also going to add in a couple of tablespoons of lemon juice. That'll look good. Alright, we'll come back when that gets hot. So we're using, I know I keep referencing cranberry sauce because I just did it. We're having to use pectin in the strawberry jelly that we didn't use in the cranberry sauce because those cranberries have that tougher outer skin, and so it has naturally occurring pectin in that skin. Strawberries have a really thin skin, and it doesn't create its own pectin. Not to the point where you can just gel it right up. So like muscadines, grapes, cranberries, those all do. Things with a softer skin don't. Still some frozen bits in there. I'm just gonna leave that in there because I keep making a mess. No, where was I? Getting the butter, that's where I was. Alright, so we're just going to put some butter in there to help with the foaming. And then we are going to stir in the pectin. And we're going to keep stirring. We're going to have this on for 1 minute. There we go. Okay, so we've added the butter to help with the frothing or the foaming, and then we added our pectin, and we're going to continuously stir this for 1 minute. And then after that 1 minute, we are going to put the sugar in. Get that to dissolve. That is warm on my hand. Okay. Well, I was trying to avoid setting the spoon down, but here we are. So we were going to get our sugar in there. We're going to stir and dissolve to get all the clumps out. We're going to bring that back up to a rolling boil. Okay, we definitely got all the clumps out, so all the sugar is dissolved. I don't think the camera is doing this strawberry mixture any justice because it is a beautiful color. I need one of those little chicken timers so I don't have to keep reaching across the hot pot to turn on the timer. Okay, and that is a rolling boil, and we got that going for 1 minute. So when I was talking about the first time I attempted to make some peach jam. Our pot was not this big. Stressing out about this just a little bit. We're gonna turn that down just a smidge. Pot was not this big, so when we got to this point, it overflowed and went everywhere. And we were in. They weren't cheap, but monetarily they weren't cheap. How they were made was cheap, so the, there we go. Okay, so timer's off, it's been a minute, we're gonna take it off the heat, and then we're going to get these jars ready so we can get them in there. Which I don't know if you can hear it, but those are definitely boiling and going too. It foamed over, then there was like burnt sugar everywhere and we couldn't get it out because we couldn't pull the stove out from the wall, so every time we cooked something it was just burnt peach sugar everywhere. But it was fun. Every time I make something I think of that, so I mean I guess it's like core memory and whatnot. So we're just going to be ladling this into our half-pint jars about halfway up the threads. So that way we have plenty of space there. Oh, that's going to be hot. Ah, move it quickly. There we go. There we go. Now you can see me a little bit better. We're getting it. Or we're not. I don't know. Okay, so we have our funnel from our kit. I have a couple of things down just to protect my counters. And you know, easier to clean up because then you can just throw it in the washing machine afterwards. Those are very warm. Don't let me fool you with moving them with my hands. I like to scald myself while I do dishes, so I've gotten kind of used to it. Okay. Just kind of working a little assembly, that's all. Just dripping everywhere. And you're trying to get to that 1/4 inch headspace. When 4-H does their fundraiser again, I will definitely be buying more strawberries. And then I'll show you how I juice those. have to reach out to my roommates to see if they remember that peach jam. Okay, I just scooped out the foam really quick, just because I don't want it to be in the jars. There's nothing wrong with it per se, I don't like the way it looks. I think that might end up being our last one, so we only made 10, but that's okay. Probably might have put a little bit more in all of these, so I did about a ½ inch. We'll go to a quarter. One more. Oh yeah, perfect. Awesome. Remove this guy. Okay, now I've just got a wet paper towel to wipe off the rims, and then we'll put on the lids. thing and I'll go get those lids. So the rings have already cooled down. So this really helps with being mindful of the finger tight, because you don't want to grab the jar to really like wrench down on it. Wrench, don't matter. So you can really only touch it with the rings. There we go. Now, we warmed up 12 lids, but we're only using 10, and that's okay. So we can just let those cool off completely and then put them back with our new lids, because they aren't, so while we warm them up, we never put them on a jar. So it's when it gets that imprint from the jar that ruins them. It doesn't ruin them, but you know, makes them used. Okay. We got all of our lids on. Got all of our lids on, so we got everything ready. We're gonna go back over to the canner and start putting them in. Okay, so you're just gonna see me going back and forth really with my jar tongs, carrying the jars over to the stove to put them on the rack, and then we'll lower it down into the pot and let it process for 10 minutes. You want them to be standing and not leaning over on the sides, like how I keep sometimes knocking them over like that, because you want the most even pressure around that lid for that air to come out. Okay? See the bubbles? We're going to wait for that to come back up to boil, and then we're going to set the timer for 10 minutes. I was just loading up the dishwasher while I was waiting for the canner to boil to start the processing time. And so I have the ladle still in that pot. And I just want to show you how it's already, so there is some water because I wasn't paying attention at first. But do you see that gel? So if I put my finger in it, so it's, once we can it in gel, that's going to be great. So that's what we want to see. So we should have tested that before we took it, before we put it in the jars, to make sure it had processed long enough. And to do that, while it's still in the pot, you would take a spoon and then see, well, it's already set up, so it's kind of hard to explain now, or to see now. But you would dip your spoon in there and see how the mixture, the fruit mixture, fell off of the spoon. Because if it wasn't ready, if it still needed time to process, it would have just dripped off like a chocolate milk would, you know, just have drips. But if it had been cooked long enough, it would kind of come off in a sheet. So anyway, this is very promising, and I wanted to show that, you know, that early success. And we can see, well, you can't see, but I can see that the water's boiling, so we're going to set the timer for 10 minutes. Actually, we set it for 9 because it was already kind of going for a minute, so. But we know what's happening. Okay, the timer's gone off, and we're ready to pull these jars out. Ooh, I'm sorry, camera. Once again, we're just going to let those sit for a second. Get it, girl. Get it, girl. I wasn't counting because I was talking, but I think most of those have already popped. Pinged, did something, whatever the noise, whatever you want to call it. Okay. So, I've already got my rag down. I said we made 10, but we only made 9. That's cool. All right. So once again, we're just gonna let those sit for at least 12 hours. We did such a good job. Okay, so I just want to show one more time, or I just want to show again about what finger tight can look like right afterwards. But there's no discoloration or there's no tinting in the water of the pot, so you know that just only air escaped, nothing else. I just think that's so neat. So when you're testing, when you're looking at that though, make sure you don't end up cranking it down after they come out of the canner, because it still has to have time to cool down, and then it'll kind of create a suction to go like that. And it won't be able to do that if it's too tight. Okay, so we've made 9 jars. Way to go, we did it. We're gonna come back in 12 hours, or for me it's gonna be in the morning, and see what they look like. So thanks for coming along.